So I got some incredibly juicy questions on my Instagram on entrepreneurship, digital marketing, making money while young. And in this video, what I've done is I've compiled the best of the best, la crème de la crème, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna answer them. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Question goes, what can I do if I feel like I need to learn everything before finding clients? This is really time wasting. This is something that I feel like a lot of people struggle with, which is being paralyzed by the need to have everything perfect, by the need to know everything really. And you have to understand that nothing is going to be perfect. You have to understand that you have to start even when you feel like you don't know everything. You're never going to feel, even if you went through the whole journey and you've been at the game for 7-10 years, you're still not going to feel like you know everything. I've been in the space for a while now at this point, and I still feel like I'm learning new things every single day. In fact, it's good, right? You should have a student mindset. The moment you think you know it all, that's when you lose, right? And you also have to realize that a lot of the stuff that you learn by taking action. Action is always going to be the biggest teacher. Once you have the right systems, once you have the right processes, the feedback you get from the market is what's going to really take your experience and your expertise to the next level. One of the reasons why I think my program and my teachings have gotten the results that they've gotten for students is because the stuff that I teach, I've been through it myself, right? There's something about knowledge that you learn from experience. So get right into it. You're never going to feel like you're ready. Next question. If you couldn't do anything e-com, what would you do? That's a good question. One of the things about me, and when I started in the agency space, I wasn't really passionate about the agency model. I wasn't really going for something that I was really passionate about. And that's something that a lot of people completely misunderstand. The first business that you get into should just be a vehicle, right? It should get you from point A to point B. Maybe your point A is you're stuck in college doing a degree that you absolutely hate. And point B is just having time, location, financial freedom. And so really that's what I was looking for out of this business model. And so more than being very deliberate about me going into the e-com space, the e-com space kind of called me, right? Simply because it had the potential to provide me with the type of lifestyle, with the type of capital that I wanted, right? And so that's a little side note, which is I was never really passionate about the e-com space. So if I'd seen a different space that could provide the same sort of capital, if I'd seen a similar space that could have provided the same sort of benefits as an e-com agency, I would have done just that, right? And so that's probably the answer to this question, which is really anything that could have gotten me out of my situation, right? Now, if we're talking about passion and something outside of entrepreneurship, I would have probably been an athlete, probably a tennis player, because that's the sport that I played the most, and I was pretty good at it. So yeah, that is that for that answer. What is the most important skill in your point of view? I'm guessing as an entrepreneur, I think the absolutely most important skill as an entrepreneur is actually a soft skill, which is not being emotional, right? So being able to put emotions aside, understand that a no does not mean that you're worth less, right? It does not mean that you've failed, right? So understanding that failure is not an option. You're gonna get a bunch of no's. You just have to take that no, right? Look at it and basically optimize according to the feedback that you're getting. And as long as you're optimizing according to the feedback you're getting, you're not making emotional decisions. You're gonna end up making much better decisions. And not only that, but it's gonna give you a lot more patience, because I truly believe that the reason why most people just completely give up is because they get way too emotional, and that leads them to not have the patience that is required to have success. And look, we're not talking about waiting 1-2 years to have success. I truly believe you can get to 10K per month in 90 days or less, but an incredibly important skill to be able to detach emotions, put emotions aside, and focus on the work. Does the NFT niche have a future? If so, how to correctly reach out to these prospects? Great question. And yes, it does have a future, a really big, bright future ahead of it. In fact, there are students in my mentorship, one of them making 400K per month with an NFT agency. Another one of my students who is also doing NFT recently signed a 7K per month deal 2 weeks into the mentorship. So massive future ahead, right? And I consider NFT and the whole Web 3.0 space as part of the e-com space, right? Because at the end of the day, they're selling things online, right? With NFTs, for example, they're selling a collection of digital artwork. And these NFT projects are constantly looking for those people that can sell their collection out, right? And that's one of the reasons why I love the e-com agency space, because at the end of the day, everyone needs people that can make them money, right? We are the rainmakers, and so we're always going to be in high demand. And so massive space, very untapped, and yeah, huge future. Having said that, every single sub niche within the e-com space has massive future and is very, very untapped. This does not mean that you have to FOMO into the NFT e-com agency space, but definitely a lot of future. What small things should I do that will make the biggest change? This is probably a bit of a weird answer, but I would probably say wake up earlier than most people and wake up at the same time. If you can stick to a consistent sleep schedule, right, and you can consistently wake up early, meaning you can add an extra 1 to 2 hours to the morning that you currently have, that's going to serve you very well. That does not mean that you have to go to bed at the same time. It may mean that you have to go to bed earlier, but at least you have more time during the morning where you can actually achieve a lot, right? You can get a morning routine in which you could do meditation, journaling, working out, whatever it is, right? And you can also get a few more hours in of deep focus work, especially because no one really bothers you in the morning, because most people are waking up later than you would. Wake up earlier, right? And stick to a consistent sleep schedule, meaning you have to wake up at the same time every single day. Advice you would give yourself 5 years ago. I would say relationships is a key part of the whole process. And so I'm not going to say the cliche thing, enjoy the process, because I think I've enjoyed the process. I love doing what I do every single day. Obviously, there are certain parts that, I enjoy more than others, but I think relationships is massive, right? And so yes, when you're building a business, you may have to sacrifice time with people, but I think you should cherish those relationships that truly matter to you, and truly cherish the people that actually, love you a lot. And so I would have probably done the exact same thing that I did with most of my friends, but the people that truly were close to me and the people that truly have a lot of love for me, I would have probably cherished that a little bit more. That's probably the advice I would give. The second thing is understanding that entrepreneurship, as much as I love it, is just a cornerstone of life, right? And so keeping the main thing, which is really my spiritual growth, my growth as a person, and understanding that there's a bunch of different components to that, right? It's not just making money, entrepreneurship, and having success. So yeah, that's probably what I would tell myself. But look, I wouldn't change anything. I think you have to go through different paradigms in life. But if I had to, tell myself something 5 years ago, I would have probably told myself that. How did you deal with doubters starting your business? Honestly, I never really had a problem with this because I already went into it expecting those doubts. Like, for example, I had absolutely no problem in understanding that my parents doubted me and didn't understand my decision of dropping out of uni. So I just kind of saw it as a normal thing. And so I dealt with it appropriately. Understanding that in most cases, a lot of the doubts are coming from a place of love, especially the people really close to me, like my parents, my really good friends. And then, the people that are not doing it from a place of love, but from a place of insecurity and from a place of like them not being happy with their personal life and projecting their own insecurities onto you. I just understood that as well. So really, I think the key is just empathy and understanding that people have their own insecurities, people have their own traumas, people have their own baggage, and oftentimes they're projecting that onto you. Okay. And the final thing I'll say on this is, as much as I didn't listen to the doubt, I also didn't seek for the approval of others or people hyping me up to start a business, right? That's one thing that, people should keep in mind. The fact that, sure, don't listen to doubts, but also don't expect people to hype you up, because no one wants it more than you, and no one is really going to tell you to go get it. So you just have to do it yourself. You have to make that decision yourself, and I think when you make it, it empowers you a lot, and it gives you a lot of self-confidence going forward. So yeah, that is that for this video. Those are some of the questions that I got. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a massive thumbs up. And if you want free trainings on building a social media marketing agency that I'm not posting anywhere else, just insane value bombs that I'm posting for free, go ahead and join my free Facebook mastermind. Completely free. There's a bunch of questions that you'll have to answer, and we can see if you'd be a good fit for that. There's going to be a link in the description. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.